likes to take in a bunch of sweaty California loud teenagers. So that was where the William Temple Center came in, and it became our home for the 10 days we were there. The center had once been a church, but then it had been transformed into housing for volunteers like us, and it was equipped with bunk beds and showers, a kitchen, a chapel, and a main room for all of us to hang out in. And it was also the main office for the Texas Episcopal Disaster Relief, which is the service we were working for. So the first day we all came to this center and we all settled in, relaxed before a long week of work. A typical day started with Stephen waking us up at about 7 a.m. with his loud, cheerful good morning in an abnormally cheerful voice, because Stephen is a morning person, unlike most of us. And since we were still in California time, most of us were really groggy since it was 5 a.m. in California and it was really 7 a.m. in Texas. So that was fun. Breakfast was always quick, and usually it was, like cereal and toast and stuff like that. After breakfast, we'd get ready and then go work at our job sites and leave back at 3 and go to the beach and then come home, shower, and just hang around. And those hours between getting home and then doing program were probably the most fun I've had during the entire trip, because it was just fun just to bond with everyone. I could either, sit with Sam Greenside and watch her beat me at chess again and again and again, or I could watch Stephen beat Marshall at ping pong again and again. So when we were doing that, most of us played cards and spoons, or we just sit around talking on these big comfy couches that the center had for us. And then when dinner time rolled around, we all, 16 of us, crammed into this tiny dining room around 2 big rectangular tables. And dinner obviously was crowded because there was a lot of us, but it was really entertaining. It was probably the most fun I've had on the trip. Someone was always, cracking jokes, and we were always laughing. And it was loud, but we made so many memories during that time. There was a specific time, I think, when Calvin Sherwood had Sam Greenheads and I laughing so hard we were practically choking on our food, which was great. After dinner, we always had program and games such as Would You Rather and Fight the Pan and the infamous line game, which all of us kind of grew to dislike because it was Stephen's secret way of torturing us. And then on Thursday, a group of kids from a Texas Baptist church came over for dinner, and we all got to know them, and then afterwards we played Ultimate Frisbee with them. And they were all really friendly and awesome people, and it was just so great to hang out with people from Texas that were our age, not adults. It was a really good experience. And then right after program was Coblin and then Lights Out. But for the guys' room, Lights Out usually took about 2 hours for them to stop talking and settle down. Unlike most people would think, it took the guys a lot longer than the girls to go to sleep. So, and then the week flew by and time just seemed to go a lot faster there, and soon it was time to leave. But of all the amazing memories I made in Texas, I think I made the most memorable ones. Just hanging around with people and all those people at the center and just chilling and bonding together. I think that was probably the greatest part of the trip.
Hi, I'm Nick, and I'm here to talk to you about some of the people that we worked around. When we got to Galveston, there were 16 people that went up there, and we were split into groups of 8. Half of us went to go sheetrock, and my group, we went to go grout and tile. But some of the things, other than the work aspect, I got to know some of the people that was by our job site. One of the people that kind of stood out in my mind was the lady next door, is how I refer to her. She's this 98-year-old woman that lives by herself, and the only one on the block that I could see that was not living in a FEMA trailer. I got to know her pretty well. Every morning when we got there, she was always sitting out on her front porch in the heat and the humidity. And she would always wave at us, and she was very friendly. And so I got to get to know her, and I kind of knew her patterns because she always used to come outside, and she'd sit there with her cup of water and just watch us work with a smile on her face. One morning, when we went over there, I noticed that she wasn't sitting outside, and so I just kind of wanted to go over and talk to her for a little bit. So I went next door, and she had this kind of swinging door that was on one hinge. It was kind of crooked, so you could kind of see inside the house a little bit. So I knocked on the door, and no one answered, so I kind of opened it a little bit. And as I got the door completely open, I noticed that there was about, the perimeter on the inside of the house, there was about a foot of walking room. And inside, like the center, it looked like someone put a bomb in the middle of her house. There's a 5-foot hole. And at the bottom, there was this dryer, and next to the dryer, she was just laying there. And so I went over and I helped her out, and I got her out to the porch, and I went across the street and filled up her cup of water. And as I was inside, I noticed that there are these clotheslines. And on these clotheslines, she had organized these disposable diapers. And she had to wash these disposable diapers because that's all she had. She was washing these diapers, and she had 2 dresses, 2 torn dresses. That's all she had. And she was living alone. Her family was washed away, or she can't locate them. And so she was just living by herself. And she befriended like the garbage men and, this locals that, lived by her, but she was all alone. And so I kind of thought to myself, I always read about third world countries and how desolate it is and how they have no water, no food, no clothes. But honestly, I had no idea what was going on in Galveston. I knew that they said, I talked to the youth group, and they said that they were going down to do mission work. And so I'm like, okay, I've never really been on a mission trip. And so I went down there to, I figured that there would be, the houses would already be there, and it wasn't going to be as bad as I thought. But when I got there, it was just a sight to see. There was some houses where there were boards standing up. Luckily, we got, our job site was a house that was almost complete. They had been building it for about a year. And we were just working, the team that we were with, they were working their way down the block. But, we got to tile and grout and stuff. But there were some houses that were in definite need of help. And I think that this lady was one of those people that definitely needed help because she's 98 years old. And it was kind of sad. So it was a real eye-opener for me. So this trip